Welcome to Soccer as We Like It, the Manutd edition. We have our Premiership roundup. We're meeting with other fans from other clubs who are going to tell us how they feel with the current situation with the teams as we go for an international break. With me today, we have Ben representing the Liverpool Clown. How are you, guy? How are you, Ben?
I'm sweet, man. Good to see you again. Good to see everyone else again. Good to meet the new face.
Welcome to
Very
the
happy to
show.
be here. Very happy
Right,
to be here.
Sonny representing Man City. Sonny, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. Good to be
And
here
we have
again.
uh, Arsenal being represented by Mike. Mike, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Chief? Feeling
Oh,
good. Ready to
good.
get it on.
And Adams, far away in another continent altogether, representing Manchester United. Adam, welcome.
Hey, buddy.
Right. International break. Teams have all played 7 matches each. The table is being led by Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Man United. I'm going to start with Liverpool since it's the closest to the top.
Yeah.
Ben, quickly tell me, so far, 7 games, 16 points. Are you satisfied with Liverpool performance so far?
In a nutshell, I can't complain. We haven't lost any games in any competition.
That's true.
Can't complain. The Brentford game, I'll be honest, it was like a haymaker. It was like, the Tommy the Hitman Hearns versus Marvin Hagler. I'm an old dude, so I'll be making an old reference like that. But they were both throwing haymakers at each other.
Right.
I'm not going to. And City, I'll let this be on record. This is the only time I'll say it. Liverpool were lucky to get a point out of that game. We were very lucky.
Yeah,
They
that
were
was the
like
game.
they were sprinting and covering yards all over the place, City, and we are extremely fortunate to get a point out of that game.
Right. Let me go to Manchester City, represented by Sonny, third in the table, 7 games, 14 points. Sonny, how are you feeling so far? Are you satisfied with City's position and the performance so far? 1 defeat so far this season in the Premier League.
I'm not happy with the performance so far. But I have. Hey, it's only the 7th game. It's very early. We are playing without a striker. And so, but I have my expectation is high, and I know that they can achieve my expectation. So, I think we can do better, but I'm happy with where we are.
Right. Adam, United 7 games, 14 points, 4th in the table. Adam, Man United, are you happy? What the season so far? 1 defeat in the Premier League. What's your take so far, mate?
Look, I think United's been lucky with the results that have been coming other ways. So to be sitting in that 4th position because they haven't been playing the best. So, I think we've been very fortunate to be staying up in that top 4 at the moment. And, we really need to step up after this international break. I was just watching England then and, Sancho's whipping in crosses from everywhere. So it's a bit annoying seeing that and not actually delivering for United. We've bought well in the transfer window, but it just seems things just seem not to be connecting. So, like I said, I think we're fortunate to be 4th at the moment through other results. So, it's been a bit disappointing the start of the season for us, I'd say.
Even though Ole says they're better than they were last season, or you just think that's just an excuse?
Yeah, look, Ollie's getting better and better with his press conferences now. So, I take what he says with a grain of salt now. He's sort of getting a bit under my skin at the moment. Not that I want him out, but we really need to step up and try and take hold of this top 4. So, like I said, anyone can see that United's been lucky to be in that top 4 position at the moment.
Right.
And in saying that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams on 14. So we're just fortunate we've scored more goals. So
right. Mike, representing Arsenal. Arsenal are currently in 11th position. What's your take so far? So you're 11th with a total of 10 points. What's your take so far, Mike?
Like I said, I was angry and now I'm upset and now I need to feel good. It's like how we started off the season was totally unacceptable. Still not a fan of Arteta. We in the last 5, like I said, out of all 7, we what, 3 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. Not good enough for me. I want to see better. We got 31 more matches to go, and out of those 31 matches, I need at least like 26 wins and the rest draw.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said. That's what we need. That's what I want to see.
That's what I need.
No, I'm not. Because
okay.
as long as,
right?
especially if Arteta is still our manager, I'm never gonna see that. I mean, just think about it. Look at I know everybody that's paying attention to the media. We just bringing Jack Wilshere back.
No.
Come on, we're just bringing him back, and how long he's been cold on the bench. This is Mikel Arteta that I'm talking about. So I'm not happy what's going on at Arsenal, but I hope, like I said, he needs to sit down, get it together, and know what I'm saying, and actually think about the club instead of himself and his ideas and his pride.
Right. All right. I'll go back to Ben. Ben, so far, your best game or the toughest game so far was against Manchester City, and you came through that game. It was a game that everyone saw, like, the football was literally mesmerizing. Even as United fans, even I barely watched no United game, but I said, you know what, I want to see this game. And I was not disappointed. The football was scintillating, beautiful to the eye.
I mean, for a neutral point of view, yes, it was excellent football. Both two good managers, two open game, and it was scattershot here and there. Plus, the thing is, honestly, one thing that's putting me off the Premier League so far is I don't know how the officials are deciding on offsides, non-offsides, and so on. I don't know how they're going to call penalties, what they're not going to call a penalty.
Right.
And, it takes, in my mind, it took some fun out of the game.
Right.
And the thing is, for me, I preferred our performances against Leeds United and Crystal Palace. With City, we were very lucky to get away with a point on that. That's the first time I've seen. I mean, that last season, the season before, the title was already decided by the time City came to Anfield. But this season, out of games that matter, out of a game with a lot of implications, this was the first time I think City dictated terms to Liverpool.
They literally took the game. You would have thought as a neutral that City were the home team. They literally took the game to Liverpool.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was
They
just
were
surprising.
like Bernardo Silva. That guy, he runs on jets. It was like watching. Usain Bolt on a soccer pitch. But then they've got Phil. There was always so many near chances that Kevin De Bruyne open header flew above. Fabinho point blank range, and then the City defender just comes flying at him, and nothing comes out of that. But Mohamed Salah, that goal.
Oh, beautiful.
You've seen my Facebook post. I'm ready to fight anyone who argues with me that Mohamed Salah is not the best player in the Premier League. I'll say it now. He is the best player in the Premier League.
I just got a cough. I got a little cough.
We all have our own opinions.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think Mo Salah's he's the best player in the league at the moment. Actually, I think he's been the best player for a while. My issue with it is I cannot believe. I've got a lot of Liverpool friends, and when things start going wrong at Liverpool, the first person they blame is Mo Salah. It's unbelievable. I just cannot understand that.
You won't find me in those ranks. I actually got into an argument with a fellow Liverpool fan who said, Suarez would have scored that chance against Brentford, and he used to skin. The thing is, Mo Salah.
He would have also bit someone's ear as well. So.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I'm just a major. It was fun while it lasted, but the thing is, he was too much of a prima donna. Too much management needed. With Mo Salah, this guy is a model player. I think, when Coutinho was about to leave, Klopp told him if he stayed, he'd get a statue in front of Anfield. I think if Mo Salah stays, if the contract gets sorted out, I think Mo Salah will get a statue in front of Anfield. And this, I will never argue with a person who's been in the top goal scorers for the last 3 seasons. They called him a one season wonder at one point. Then they called him a diver at one point. Now he is like, he's keeping on just proving people wrong. He's quiet. He's a very old school type soccer player who just lets the game do the talking. And he's had such a social impact in England. Like,
Right.
like Islamophobia going down, they've credited to him. They have also, he's like the first Liverpool player to show up in Time magazine. So
Oh,
there's a
wow.
lot good
Interesting.
there. There's a lot
Okay.
good there, and he has not gotten into any. You don't see him. I'm a Mo Salah fan. I'm Mo
Okay.
Salah
You,
fan, and that's
you
about
got
it.
to look at it like this. He walks into any side, doesn't he?
Without a
So,
doubt.
Oh yeah, yeah,
without a doubt.
Without
So
a
he
doubt.
is definitely, if not the world's best, he's definitely the best in the Premier League. That's for sure.
The way he took that goal, the control,
Oh yeah,
the way he took the goal,
yeah.
the concentration, and
If
just
that's
the
if
steadiness.
that's
No
Ronaldo
rush.
or Messi scoring that goal, you wouldn't stop hearing about it.
That's true. That's true. Now, Sonny, Man City were unlucky not to take all 3 points, and we were unfortunate to go a goal behind because even the referee decision was abysmal that day. That guy, what's his name, should have been given a red card, but it is what
James
it is.
Milner.
Milner, you could see he struggled. Foden was giving him a heck of a time down that left flank. But Sonny, when you saw that game, and how satisfied did you feel like, this football is good, we can get back to the top? What was your take?
Well, first off with Milner, and the ref, football is dirty. It's always been a dirty game. And I'm not saying that it's just dirty now, but I mean the refs, they're not always objective, and we weren't playing anything. So, um, given that, sorry, my cat is sitting here, so I'm getting like flooded with hairs. But so if you see me fidgeting, that's what it is. But I just thought that I think we have what it takes to be number one, but we have to have a lot of control over our minds. And because we're such a great team and level-headed, we have what it takes. So Chelsea's up right now, Liverpool's up by a hair. I think we have what it takes, though. So even though watching the game, I was still on the edge of my seat. I wasn't sitting there going, we got this. No, because we weren't. We had possession, but
Yeah.
then they were scoring. So then we have to make up 2 goals, to win.
Right.
And so then they score again, then we have to make up 2 goals. So I didn't feel very comfortable watching it, but I'm grateful that we had a tie. Would have been better if we had won.
Right. All right. Arsenal, the Brighton game, I knew it was going to be a tough one for you, but I thought, you know what? Because I was watching your game against Burnley, and Burnley just had poor finishing, especially in front of goal. For Brighton, I thought this seemed like a rejuvenated Brighton side, and you found it hard to crack that Brighton team. When you saw that game, what was your take that you didn't get all 3 points, or you think you should have deserved more, or you think you got what you wanted from that game?
I wanted more. I wasn't. I don't know. Maybe because I'm hating on my own squad. I'm not. It's maybe because I always expect more. I mean, all of the money that we invested during the transfer transfer window and all that good stuff, and it's like from the first match, and then after that losing, it's like, so we just get a draw. I don't want to draw. I want to win. Opportunities that we have, we didn't capitalize on. Back four still questionable. Transition from defensive third to attacking third is still not up to par. It was the reason why it was questionable, because it was like, it's like, it's watching through like all of the matches, like all 7 matches, because I said, let me, you know what I'm saying, research something. How is it that we get a draw against them, but we beat Tottenham? We gonna beat Tottenham?
You beat Tottenham the week
I
before.
didn't.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, something ain't right. So like I said, it's like a draw. Now I expect more. I'm not hating just because I'm an Arsenal fan through and through. I'm gonna always be.
Right.
I just don't agree with management. And I'm sitting there, and if I'm looking at the match and I'm sitting, I'm like, whoa, why didn't we do this? And why would we do this? Why didn't we get this call up? Why didn't we? And it's like this. I already gone. It's like, especially when we're going against a strong side.
Right.
Brighton, I don't see as a strong side,
Right.
but because of what
True.
we put out there, no, it wasn't up to par of what we should have been doing. We didn't capitalize like we're supposed to,
Right.
and it shouldn't have been a draw. We should have won that.
Right.
And we have the tools and we have the personnel to do that, and we didn't do it. We didn't capitalize, and we didn't come to a conclusion of a win. I wasn't happy.
Right. Okay. Adam, Man United won, Everton won, a back-to-back home game after losing to Aston Villa the week before. The Everton game, what did you see? What went wrong for Man United that day, or what was good for United that day?
The Everton game was look, it was going to be a tough game anyway. So, to sit here and say that Everton's not a well-drilled side is just blatantly being denial. So, but when you're coming up against teams like Villa, we've had 2 good results with a 4-1 and what was it, against Leeds, and a 5-1.
Yeah.
But even in those games, I don't think we started well. Ronaldo came in for Newcastle, so all the hype was around that. And then we lose to young boys, and we shouldn't be losing to teams like that either. So, look, I'm like Michael, when we come against the bigger sides, which we've got coming up now, we've got a big few weeks ahead of us.
Yeah.
We'll probably go out and we'll probably win those games. It's weird because they're coming on to us. We don't have to worry about our low block teams. And, but yeah, look, it's a big few weeks for United, as much as we had the draw against Everton, we've just got to keep looking forward. And, this team really needs to start coming together because it's not like Ollie's had the chance to spend money. So, he's got the players that he wants now. And the pressure's all on him. The club's now come out and said, they're backing him and everything like that, which always worries me. As soon as the top end starts talking about backing the manager, you're usually on the back end of a back ender, really. And so anyway, he's got, who we got come up? We've got Leicester, Atlanta in the Champions League, then Liverpool, Tottenham, Atlanta again, then City. Yeah. So that's a big few weeks. So
I think
time will tell.
Ole will be really tested through those next 5 games. You got Liverpool, Spurs, City, and Atlanta back-to-back. Back-to-back Champions League.
Well, look, the club's come out and backed his team, haven't they? He's gone and signed McKenna and Carrick. So I don't know whether it's the club just saying, well, this is a cheap way out, or they got a plan. They got a plan to go forward. To get this management team to learn on the job. But I'm old school, so I don't mind. If you're getting results and learning on the job, but we don't seem to be learning. We don't seem to be learning much. We keep making the same mistakes. Mate. I read that Fergie came out and said, which is probably a load of bullshit anyway. But he said, Ollie should be starting with his best team.
Which is true, though. It is true.
It's 100% true.
You start resting players for, especially.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
The best team was actually on the bench. You had Pogba on the bench, you had Donny on the bench, you had Ronaldo on the bench, you had Jesse on the bench.
Who's he resting there for? International break? Really?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, there's some real funny decisions going on with Ollie, and I feel for the Arsenal fans of Arteta, and well, I don't really feel for Arsenal, but yeah, I know what they're going through. You sort of just got to stay patient and hopefully things work out. Well, look, for at least with United, we've had second. We're not falling out of the top four and, stuff like that. So it is tougher on the Arsenal end at the moment.
Yeah, right. Liverpool, your next game is away to Watford, another low block team, kind of like, Watford are not exactly firing on all cylinders. What do you expect from that game next Saturday?
Well, they have a new manager now, so
Yeah, they fired the manager.
the first the domino to fall this year.
After game 6.
Usually when a new manager comes in, the players over there they play with their tails up basically. Like I said, there's no barring Norwich City. There is no easy games in the Premier League anymore.
Not anymore these days.
Even with Brentford making the kind of impact they are right now, and it's going to be. And Watford, they have Ismail Assar. I wish we had bought him when there was rumors he was available for 30 million or so. I wish we had bought him a couple of seasons ago, but he's turning out to be a real stud for them. And they've like I said, they've got this new manager in charge, and they'll be playing with their tails up with a point to prove. And of course, they don't want to fall into a relegation hole so early in the season.
Right.
So there's a lot of motivation for them. Yeah.
So you're predicting what are you predicting for your game against Watford next Saturday, mate?
Watford, I'm hoping 2-1. We are, if we are contending for a title, we need to win and get all 3 points against a team like that, who have just let go of their manager, irrespective of how well they play on the day. I'm expecting a win, but I'm not expecting an easy win.
Okay. Sonny, Mancity are home to Burnley next week. What's your take? What do you expect? You think it's going to be easy game, hard game?
Yes, I think it's going to be an easy game, but you have to be very careful with those easy games. You can't just I got this, bag it up. Sometimes you have to.
Tell me about it. We've done that. We've gone to we got this, and it went the other way. Exactly. Adam could testify.
Well, yeah. So I think I'm grateful to play Burnley next week, or when we play them next week, I believe, and we're going to rack up some points, and so that I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay. Mike, you got Crystal Palace at home next week. Crystal Palace last game, they came back from 2-0 down. They rejuvenated. It's a local London derby, Arsenal, Crystal Palace. It's going to be quick. It's going to be tight. It's going to be difficult. What's your take? Crystal Palace are struggling, but at the same time, it's a London derby.
I think it should be an easy match. I think it should be either 2-1 or 3-1. But
it's your former captain who's managing them, Vieira.
But that's the whole thing, and it's like that's what it's supposed to be. But seeing that how we've been moving, like I said, is we need to do some soul searching in the Arsenal
soul searching,
we have to do some soul searching to go back to the love of the beautiful game, and also management. Like I said, Arteta he definitely has to do something. Sacrifice a pig to some type of supernatural force or something, because he's not doing it.
Have we got to that level, bro?
It's got to be something, but it's like, in honesty, I think we may draw in that game. And and they like Crystal Palace is like what in relegation? They're not in relegation, are they? I think they're like in relegation zone, is it? If I'm not mistaken, I do apologize if I am. But you know what I'm saying, it's like
Palace,
it's like we were talking about Newcastle earlier.
Crystal Palace is number 14. They're not in.
14.
Man,
not too bad. Not too bad.
Wow. So we're only
7.7
3 spots
games.
ahead.
7 games.
That's still, like, you see what I mean? So nah. So I think it's gonna be like another draw. It should be like a 3-1, 2-1, but I think we're gonna get a draw out of it.
Be careful with Crystal Palace. They're better than you think.
That is the funny thing.
Don't sleep on Wilfred Zaha, man. That guy, he has at least 1 or 2 game winner goals every season.
Yeah.
He's like a constant on that club. Don't sleep on him.
And if you watch, him and Gallagher really play well together, Zaha and Gallagher. So, yeah.
Adam, Man United away to Leicester City. Can they bounce back? Leicester threw a 2-0 lead away at Crystal Palace last week. Leicester at home. Can United carry on the fantastic away record?
It seems to be the thing for United, isn't it? Like, we seem to play well away, and which is unbelievable how we can play well. Well, in saying we play well away, we get away with a result. So we've had a fair few draws in that as well. So, last 2 times we've played Leicester, we lost 2-1 at home, and it was a 2-2 away. So I'm lost with United at the moment. I like, me.
I could see, Adam. It's very stressful. I'm stressed. I'm just doing a husa.
Well, look, I'm not saying I'm not really stressed about it. I'm just more. It's annoying that you can't go there and say we're going to win, because when we're not a team that just goes there and wins now. Like, look, we've brought Ronaldo in. We've got Sancho and. As I say, we've got the players. It's just not coming. Will Rashford play? I don't know. But, it'd be good to see Rashford. McTominay went straight into the lineup after an injury. So, there's nothing saying that Rashford shouldn't. And I think we do need that player that can play in behind. Even though Greenwood's been playing well, maybe it's time. And, me, I'm a huge fan of Greenwood. Maybe it's time to get Sancho on the right-hand side, bring Rashford back in on the left, and, Ronaldo through the middle. Or even, I know people saying Cavani through the middle, but, we've got that many good players now, and we just still can't seem to put it together. And it's that old thing, you can have as many good players as you want, but if you can't put it together as a team, it's just not going to work for you. But look, me, I'm always positive about United, so I think we can get the job done. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. But again, time will tell for United. That's what it is at the moment,
It is what it is, bro.
It is what it is, and you've just got to deal with it, So,
it is
yeah.
I'm not Ole, honestly. I'm not Ole in. I'm not Ole out. At this point, it's just like, with all the competence and tools you have at your disposal, I'm sorry. You still cannot be playing a back 6 at home. That I can't comprehend.
That's my biggest frustration. Away or home, we shouldn't be playing a back 6. And
exactly.
And that's my biggest frustration. Just play the 1-6, and that way you bring your extra player into the midfield.
No, mate.
And and it's an attacking mindset. It's a positive mindset. All he has to do is look at nearly our whole team are all international players. And when they go and play for their countries, they're all positive impacts. But it seems to be when they come back and play for United, it's just there's like a noose back on their neck and they can't play the way they want to play. Yeah. And, I want to try and keep upbeat on podcasts, but when you watch internationals and then you go back and watch United, it just doesn't seem to work. So... Yep. I, in saying to your question, I think we can get the result, and that would build a good away record. So
Liverpool say they want it. He expects 3 points. City expect 3. Liverpool are playing away. City playing home. United away. Arsenal are playing home to Crystal Palace, and he said he expects 3 points. Liverpool, Ben. Yeah. Who is your, as it stands now? Who's your challenger? Who are you most worried about? What team at the moment is your biggest rival, whereby who's going to stop your charge? Is it Chelsea? Is it Liverpool? Is it City? Or is it Liverpool themselves?
Yeah, it's the club that doesn't have a representative in this podcast today. It's Chelsea. My God, like as many, it's one thing you have a good flowing team with veterans in it, players who are used to playing with each other, because like going back to what Michael said about, he wished Arsenal, the owner, would invest more in the club. Like, the checkbook is not the answer to all the problems. There's still some place for team chemistry.
Seems to work for City.
They've got, that's a misnomer. They have a nucleus of players who have been there for, like Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. These are not guys who they just bought a year ago.
Come on, man.
Years ago. They've been around. They've been around a bit. I mean, like they also, if you see from the time their owner purchased the club, I mean,
Chelsea's no different.
Huh?
Chelsea's
That's
no
what I'm
different. They
saying.
spend the money, yeah.
That's why I'm afraid about Chelsea, because somehow that team with so many young players, they've managed to gel very quickly.
Yeah,
They've managed to gel very quickly. They got this guy, and like
Tuchel.
I had mentioned this in the last podcast, I the decisions Chelsea makes and how it works out for them, I think I don't know what to say, because they're the only team that will fire their manager in the middle of a season and then they go on to win the Champions League. Who pulls stuff like that? Like, I mean, world class managers, amazing managers, they come to Chelsea, they win a championship, and then
They're
they
fired.
get fired after a year. Antonio Conte, Felipe
Mourinho.
Scolari, Mourinho in and out, Goose Hiddink. How many of these guys they go through managers like Eminem's. I mean, and, their model, their football model, their business model, nothing makes sense to me, which is why I am very afraid of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sonny, who's your biggest assist stand? 7 games in, still early in the season. You're 2 points behind Chelsea. It's only so early in the season. Who's your biggest rival and who's your biggest fear right now?
My eyes are on Liverpool, of course, but more so on Chelsea. And I definitely agree with Venkat. I think that's how you say his name.
Ben, just go ahead, Ben.
Ben. Money's not everything. Money has, yes, you need some money, yes, but money's not everything. And as I drew here, I don't know if you can see this, but what's at the heart of this is culture. It's the environment.
You go, Sonny.
Yes, it's the environment, it's the culture, it's the club culture.
Right.
So, and that's coming from the leadership and from the coaching. And if the players can buy onto it, and also the players, you got to get rid of players who are not going to buy into the culture, whatever the culture is. Some of them like too cool for school, all this kumbaya, I'm not into it, I'm too cool. Well, then you need to get out. All right. But the culture and having that effective culture, then it also depends on chemistry. I know you asked me a question about who we got an eye on, but it also depends on the chemistry and the playing together. So the chemistry off the pitch, a lot of off the pitch stuff really matters on the pitch. So if people are married or if they're in stable relationships or if they're partying too hard, they're not eating, things like that. So players got to be focused and things like that. So City has lots of that. Not to mention that the leadership has money, but this is not Saudi Arabia. See, I'm making assumptions now based on what I know about, and which is not much about those countries, is that Saudi Arabia is a very conservative, traditional country, whereas the Abu Dhabi is more progressive and more modern. That makes a huge difference. And so everybody thinks they know Arabs, and we don't. We just watching American TV and like, oh, I get it. Arabs are like this, and we don't. And so that all plays into it. So I look at Chelsea, and the only thing that I fear with Chelsea is that they have these bigger players, and these players are foulers. They're big foulers. They're bullies. I don't have a problem with this, however, because soccer is soccer, but that's what they're using. And that's the only reason why they're doing well. But they don't have all of the stuff that City has. We're very unique in that.
Okay. Let me go to Arsenal. Where, as you stand in 11th position, where's Arsenal going now? Where's Arsenal going now? In reference to top 4, where's Arsenal heading to? Let me ask you that.
Well, let me say this first, because I remember I was like, when you asked earlier about game with Crystal, the match with Crystal Palace. It's like, this is what I want, a 3-2. I want a 3-1 or a 2-1, but I know that I'm thinking more of a draw. So that's what I'm expecting, the draw. Give me a draw, I'll take the point. What do I see with Arsenal right now is I'm thinking positive. I always want to be optimistic.
As a fan, we have to be.
It's like any given day, any given Sunday, but still, you know what I'm saying, rather be safe than sorry. I guess that's how I'm seeing for Arsenal right now. It's like just like what you asked Mr. Ben and also Miss Sunny. It's like who do you see as like, you know what I'm saying, as the rivals? I see the whole EPL as a, because it's like right now, it's like every team is gonna, it's like we're gonna have to do trial by fire with every like with every squad.
Right.
So every, you know what I'm saying? So it's like our 11, our top, first 11 is always going to change due to whoever we play. And like I said, until Mikel Arteta sits down and says, okay, this system works, this is that, and all of this Christmas tree, this 3-4-2-1 stuff. Nah, it's until he sits down and says, this is where Arsenal's going, this is what we got to do, this is the personnel that are on the call up, and be able to, like, just like Mr. Adams said at the beginning, you always supposed to have the best squad on the pitch at, know what I'm saying, every time, know what I'm saying, it's time to go to war.
Yeah.
And until we get that mentality at Arsenal, like I said, everybody's going to, it's like every match we go into is going to be a toss-up.
All right. Adam, Man United lay in fourth. Like you said, who are United trying to keep up with? Who are they chasing? Who's stopping United from going far?
Look, I don't think United's not chasing anyone. United's chasing the table. United want their fans want them to be successful in the table, so they want them to finish first, and that's what we expect.
Right.
I hear everyone here talking about Chelsea, but my biggest, I wouldn't say biggest fear, but the rivalry between Manchester United and Liverpool is just humongous. Liverpool's scoring the goals. They're averaging 3 goals a game, whether it's a draw or a win. I look at Chelsea's results. You got a 1-0 here, you got a 1-1. So they're not scoring the goals like Liverpool are. So for me, everyone needs to be keeping up with Liverpool. Regardless whether Chelsea won the Champions League or not, they still didn't have a successful Premier League. To me, they didn't with what they invested in. Tuchel's come in and he's done a fantastic job. I totally agree. But Liverpool, the team, mate, they had heaps of injuries last year, and they pulled a rabbit out of a hat, finished top 4, and they're thriving off that now. They're pushing forward. They got arguably the greatest player in the world at the moment in Mo Salah, and he's just bagging goals for fun. He's ripping players apart. It's like watching FIFA. Playing with him on FIFA. Liverpool without, and I don't like giving Liverpool compliments at all. But surely Liverpool's the team that everyone needs to keep up with. City were the same last year. They started slowly, but then they came good. They came good, so that's right. So, and we've got good results against City. So for me, it's Liverpool. I watch Liverpool move the ball, and I always say, no matter who we play, whether it's Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, I always believe other teams play better football than us. I always enjoy watching the other teams play. I feel we're very stagnant in the way we play. So, but to answer your question, without a doubt, it's Liverpool. They move the ball really well. They score, like I said, they're averaging 3 goals a game. We're not. We're just scraping through on games and expecting a bloke named Ronaldo to get us out of trouble. And and he's only been here for four games, I think now.
Yeah.
And and we shouldn't be relying on that. Hopefully Rashford comes in and does a job for us. He's been one of our top goal scorers over the last few seasons, and I think he's harshly judged, Rashford, to be honest with you. So it'll be good to get him back in the squad and playing for us. But without a doubt, Liverpool.
Right. I'm going to ask you individually. Ben, Liverpool, with Newcastle's new owners, are you worried of Newcastle's change in terms of who they could buy now? I mean, it's not going to be, I don't know how soon they're going to start making this spending money. Are you worried about the new impact Newcastle have on the Premier League?
More the merrier. But like I said before we started recording, being a long-time observer of Newcastle and of the Premier League in general, take a good situation and Newcastle will find a way to screw it up. They kind of remind me they are like the England cricket team, or they are like the French rugby team, or they're like the Cincinnati Bengals or the LA Clippers. They will find a way to mess up even the best combinations. A lot of great players, like I said, have come through
Newcastle.
St. James Park. They played there, and they've gone, without a single gong to their name. Some
Right.
great talent and some great managers they had there. So I mean, just because you put a checkbook behind them, there has to be a way to spend smartly. City spends smart. United also spends smart, at least. But I mean, you have to see. It depends on the personnel they bring in to run the club. I Until then, I want the jury is out on them. But we have to be afraid of the monsters that exist, not about the monsters that have just come up, that are rumored to come from somewhere. Like the boogeyman. No, we don't have to be afraid of those. Let us see what they come up with, and then
Right.
we'll be scared of them.
Right. Sonny, now there's a new sheriff in town. Newcastle coming with all the money. Probably might see the first £1 million player a week. We never know with this, because they might just throw players. But like you said, it comes down to culture and chemistry. How worried or how concerned are you with this Newcastle new money?
I'm not concerned at all. Um, uh, what I think is that name matters. The name matters. So you can have, even if they start winning number one, maybe that might change something when they're winning and they have 3 or 4 cups behind them. People may jump on the bandwagon because people do that. But I think name matters. I think you'll always have a strong United fan base and a strong Liverpool fan base. And now you're going to have a strong City fan base. So I'm not really worried about it. And like I said about Saudi Arabia,
I know about that.
what
You
you
still
say?
can't fill the stadium.
Well,
Uh,
that may be true. You still, but the thing is that every club is going to act differently. United fans are different from the City fans. I see it at the bar when I go to United bar versus the City bar.
Yeah. She
Very
Adam,
different.
she comes to the bar in her Man United, in her Man City shirt
Yes, I do.
among all Reds.
uh,
And I'm ready to fight if anybody got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a feisty girl. But I think that the fans are just different people, and just because they don't go and fill up a stadium does not mean that they are not die hard. They're different people, different. I don't want to say all the other names, adjectives, but they're just different folk. That's
Right.
it.
Right. Adam, hold on, Ben.
No, I want to hear what
Adam,
Ben's got to
No,
say.
no, I
Ben.
just want to point something because you said Newcastle. A lot of people will jump on the bandwagon.
They're a big club, mate.
So this is going back to 1996.
Yep.
I just graduated from high school, and my dad and my mom, we lived in the Middle East at the time. We lived in Bahrain. So I was about ready to go to India. So my dad said, you know what, let's take a vacation to the US back in 96, and let's go to Disney World. I will tell you something. Back then, 1996, long before the Premier League became this big giant that it is today, a lot of British tourists, a lot of Brazilian tourists. I saw a ton of Newcastle jerseys, more than any of the other jerseys, through Disney World, Epcot Center, everything. There was a ton of the old, that Newcastle lager, the star in the center, and they used to have this. The collar used to be something weird. It used to be like a tight collar, and you had to button it on the side.
Yes, yes, yes,
It was a
yes.
very trendy uniform they had.
But
So,
they had a coach called Kevin Coogan, didn't they? They manager
oh
Kevin
yeah,
Coogan,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kevin
and he really
Keegan.
brought their club forward. And there
Yeah,
was a rivalry between Manchester United, and,
That
and
season, yeah.
that
yep,
season
yep,
it was
yep,
massive. He
yep,
came
They
out and said, "Mate,
12 points ahead.
yep.
And
yeah,
like
they were
Ben
12
said,
points
they had
ahead,
the
and
ability to
United
straight
got them
up.
down." So they are definitely a club to be worried about.
Yeah.
They without a doubt, especially with money coming in.
Right.
We talk about, especially with Manchester United, we struggle against, low block teams and stuff like that. But, you get very well disciplined sides with money and a very good manager under your belt. Mate, you can do anything. You can do anything. And Newcastle with the money, they get the right culture behind them, which they do have a culture. Newcastle do have a culture. They've been around a long time. they're definitely a club now. With look, everyone talks about Manchester United fan base, Liverpool fan base, but Newcastle, if they start getting going, they are definitely a club to be worried about, for sure, in my opinion.
Right.
You know, especially, look, we're lucky and fortunate enough. We grew up, we were watching it through the 90s. I'm 47, so I got to see a bit of the 80s. Not a lot in Australia, but we saw highlights. But I saw a lot through the 90s. You know, when you see these clubs through the 90s and, you know, the way they've fallen away, like the Arsenals and Newcastles and stuff like that, and, you know, the Liverpools and the, you know, and the Uniteds are still up there. But, yeah, I was looking today at the results from Manchester United in 2008 and 2009. You know, we're lucky to beat some of the top clubs in 2008, 2009. So, you know, this stigma about United, you know, always getting the results for Fergie, even though we won the title, they weren't always there. So, you know, it's sometimes with the younger fans, it's a real myth. They don't like looking back at results. They only like looking at the next result. So, but definitely for me, with the money now brought into Newcastle, you know, as much as culture, like you speak about the culture, I definitely think it's there. It's just got to be brought out again.
Right. Mike, Arsenal, Newcastle, new money. How do you see them a threat to Arsenal? What do you see? You see this new monster coming to the new sheriff in town. What's your take as an Arsenal fan? Is it?
It's not really something that we need to focus on. That's just something that's going on at Newcastle. At Arsenal, we have our own demons and skeletons that we have to worry about and have to deal with. And thanks, Mr. Ben. You just let me know how old I feel and am, because I graduated in 1990. So, that's not something that we need to worry about. And just like Miss Sunny said, money don't make the club. Don't get me wrong, it gives you, know what I'm saying, power to say, hey, I want this, or I want to bid for this. But it's just because you pay what 80 million for a player doesn't mean that he's going to fit into that system, that culture. That
very true.
We know all about it.
Yeah, especially if I mean, think about when just to use Ronaldo as an example. They did pay 80 million for him to go to Real Madrid. Him and Kaká didn't just come off the bench just doing what they did, how they wanted to do, like what he was doing at Man United, and how Kaká was doing it at AC Milan. So it took a while for them to get hot and heated, but I mean, they eventually did. But the thing is that money don't make the club. And but yeah, Arsenal, we're not worrying about the money. We got, like I said, we got our own problems and things that we have to fix and put duct tape on and try to get it to work. So I think money wise, I mean we already did what we have to do with monetary standpoint and business wise. And yeah, we may look and we observe what the other clubs are doing, but it's not going to be actually a factor that we need to worry about.
Right. Ben, do you have a question for City, Man United, or Arsenal? You have one question? Everyone has one question.
So my question for Arsenal is, and before I ask, like, you know, I empathize with what Arsenal's going through, because Liverpool went through the same thing for several years. What do you think? I know you have your issues with Arteta. I know you have your issues with you know, money being infused into the squad. But what, like, do you feel there's a vision there? You think there's a long-term vision at Arsenal?
Yeah. Let me say a vision that, you know what I'm saying, the vision I have from day one to what has always been the vision of Arsenal. It's always been the love of the game and culture first. That's how it's always been. And then it got to now it looks like it's a point, it's about this. And that's why I said just like we all be talking about money. but the money is not making the squad. I mean, we made some good purchases during the transfer window. And how many have we used yet? How many? Actually, barely any. So the actual vision that, you know what I'm saying, personally I see the potential. I can see the silverware. But no, so regardless of what I see, until Arteta sits down and, you know what I'm saying, and says, you know what, I see the potential. I see the silverware that we can win. And let me go back and, you know what I'm saying, go back to the drawing board and bring this talent that I spent all of this money on, because we got some bad boys just sitting there ready to, you know what I'm saying, hit the pitch and do what they do. I mean, don't get me wrong, Saka, I give it to you. Smith Rowe, hey, you played well. Got you. But know what I'm saying? What, Shaka, he's about to leave out. He's about to go to AS Roma. But the thing is that it's like the vision is that we can do it. I know we can, and I have faith. I'm gonna always have faith in Arsenal, and I see it's like this. I see the light at the tunnel, you know what I'm saying, the cloud with the silver lining, but it's regardless of what I see, it's, you know what I'm saying, it can still be a dream that is not coming to reality.
Oh dear. Okay, Sonny, who do you have a question for?
I guess I'll talk to Liverpool, or I should talk to Swerve United, Adam, about his being concerned about, we should all be concerned about Liverpool. I want to say in all respects, I know they're averaging, that's a very good point, and I guess I'm going to do my research, that they're averaging 3 goals a game and everything, but look who they're playing, you know? But they did play us too, and they got what, 2, it was 2-2 or whatever. Yeah, I can see how you're saying that. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I'm changing my mind about that. I still have my eye on Chelsea, so I don't think I have any real questions. I just only have comments. So
Okay, Adam, you have a question for any of them here? Adam, can you hear us?
I'm gonna ask Michael. Michael, a question re Arsenal. Look, we're in a situation at Manchester United where we just want Ollie to win a trophy. You know, Arteta's won an FA Cup. You know, and I love the FA Cup. You know, being a boy from the 90s, 80s, and 90s. Yeah, I think it's a really good achievement. It was in his first season. Yeah. I think it was Arteta's first season.
Yep.
And as much as it's frustrating seeing for an Arsenal fan seeing their results, you can see that he's got the job done. I just don't understand. Got the job done in a cup game. What is a good fair result for Arteta to hang around for this season?
I'm gonna say this with and I know everybody's not gonna agree. Arsenal put a stamp on Arsenal that I think it's going to be a hard act to follow. And maybe because I'm spoiled like that, because I'm a Arsenal. I love Arsenal to the death. You know what I'm saying? Look what he has done since 1996 and I was like, wow, y'all going to sack him? What? So, I mean, the thing is that after Arsenal, we stayed in the top 4 regardless. No, and I mean, in 2004, 2005, I mean, we were named what, the Invincibles? I mean, to do that, and we took FA Cup as well. We've been on, and to do all of that, and then to see it from as soon as he got sacked, we went from glory to gutter. Now I know we have the potential to be better, do better, and I want to see better. I'm ready to see that again. And Arteta has to, like I said, it's like, so it's just 7 games, 3 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. We got 28 more games, 27 more games, matches to go. In those 27 matches,
31.
If you 20, I'm sorry. In those 21 matches, if you give me 3 losses, I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm already angry. I'm up to upset. Give me 3 losses, but the rest of them are wins and draws. I'll feel good again. at least get me out of the mid-table. I don't want to be in mid-table. At least put me 4 and 5 so I can go to Europa League. At least let me get to Europa. No, I'm not asking for your for UEFA. But at least give me Europa. I'll feel happy.
So top 8 finish. Top 8 finish you'll be happy with. That's fair. That's what I mean. Like, it's tough. Like, you look at United,
at least he's honest. At least he's honest.
We're in the same situation.
But United, the one thing about United is like, look where you're at right now. It's like the only thing y'all got to do is a couple of little tweaks, boom, and it's not like an up and down for y'all.
It's not good enough. It's for fans now. It's ever since Fergie's left, and we've had the trophies. Mourinho brought 2 in. Van Gaal brought 1 in. But fans are different to me. Okay, I do want to see the trophy, but our fans, they want the trophy right now. Right, we've just been knocked out of the Carling Cup. We've just been knocked out of that. So we've got FA Cup, the League, and Champions League. So you can put a cross through Champions League because I can't see us winning that. And at the moment, we're not playing the best in the Premier League. So that leaves the FA Cup. So, I believe Liverpool, Chelsea, City have got better chances of winning at this stage, have got a better chance of winning the Premier League than United. So that leaves the FA Cup. City always go. Chelsea always happy to win the League Cup. City's won it the last 3 years, haven't they? I think
5,
City's won it.
6.
6. You know what I mean? So for United, it's all about trophies, and we have to win trophies. We've got a winning culture, and it's no different to you look at Real Madrid, Barcelona, and clubs like that who win. Now they're just plummeting because the money's not there, and players don't want to go there. We're in this whole chat. We've talked about money. Look at PSG. They're still not connecting in the Champions League. All they want to do, they're in the same boat as City, where they want to win the Champions League, and that's all that's on their mind. So for United, I know no one answered the question for me, but I'm putting us like in the chart Arsenal scenario. It's a trophy, and I look at Arteta. He's won that FA Cup.
Yep.
Arteta's got. If he gets the flick, they're going to say, well, at least he won an FA Cup. If Ollie gets the flick, they're going to say, well, he couldn't even win anything.
Right.
So
that's right.
It's for United fans. It's all about that trophy this year for Ollie. Otherwise, United fans want him hooked. So,
right.
But in saying that, I don't think the owners will hook him. So, yeah.
I guess that.
Arsenal, what's your question?
And then I guess my question goes back to Mr. Adams. Then I guess I don't see Man United the same as Arsenal, as like in Arsenal, because Arsenal is in a sinkhole versus Man U is just just hit a pothole, and the thing is that. It's like, it's like, I guess the question that was asked earlier, it's like in the top, I still see y'all in the top 4 regardless. Y'all going to UEFA, but can you see yourself taking over this year? I mean, y'all have the tools in the arsenal to do so, but can you see yourself taking over, being the champions of this of EPL this year?
No. Look, on paper, yes. On paper, I can see us doing well on paper. So I can see us doing well on paper, but I just don't see. It's the cliche with United fans at the moment: they're Ollie in, Ollie out, and you have to justify yourself every single time you come to the management. I am Ollie in, but I just don't think he does enough to get us over the line, and I believe he's learning on the job, and. For fans these days, the younger generation these days, they want results now. And I was like that. I was like, we've got to build stuff and things like that. But I just see things like in our last game where you got so many good players on the bench, and we're going into an international week where they didn't need to be on the bench. We should have started with our best side. We've got a player there in Donny van der Beek that I think could be a real goal for our team. Yet Ollie's got something against him. I've seen a lot of footage where where Fred's going on the pitch and Donny van der Beek's blowing up, or not blowing up, but just got the shit sitting on the bench. You know, we've got a player in Fred that just consistently turns over the ball, but in Ollie's eyes, he just seems to be a favourite. You know, shit like that just pisses me off because, you know, it's bad enough you have it in junior football, then having it in professional football where you've got players getting paid millions and millions of dollars and managers making big decisions on players and bringing them into the club. And to have favouritism in a professional sport is an absolute disgrace. Yeah. So, you know, you need to give players a chance and, you know, and you bought them for a reason. So use them, use your whole squad and make those right decisions. Use your team. And, you know, I think Ollie fails at doing that time in and time out. And that's why I don't believe we're a chance of winning the league as much as I would love to see Ollie go on a run, which he has done before. Whenever we're down, he goes on a run of wins. And it's usually against the bigger clubs, which we've got coming up. So I really hope you can prove me wrong.
Right. Adam, let me add on to what you said. As a United fan, it can be frustrating whereby every season, especially with Ole in now, 3 years, it will be 3 years in December, no trophies. Gone to 5 semi-finals. The best chance to win a trophy last season was the Europa League, and he even flunked that by not even changing a single sub for 115 minutes, which people ask, like, really? But this is where we are. Okay, this season he was given a great defender. He fought for a right winger for 2 seasons, 2 years. I want a right winger. Hey, they provided you. Then out of nowhere, to give you the ribbon on top of your Christmas box, they gave you the greatest of all time. Boom. And still, you're playing the same stuff of last season, this season, with your new tools. So you ask yourself, does he actually really know what to do with the new tools? And that's why most United fans are frustrated, because he doesn't seem to understand, or we even know, we actually feel, like you said, Adam, it looks like he's learning on the job, which obviously seems to be the case.
The biggest frustration with him is he doesn't back himself.
No,
he doesn't back himself.
No,
he plays with, as a manager, he plays with fear.
Yeah.
You know, this is where I give Leeds manager full credit. He doesn't play with fear.
No,
he goes out to win, and he attacks teams. And if he gets beaten by 5, look, I know there's probably not as much pressure at Leeds as there is at Manchester United, but but Ollie's got the tools. He needs to play without fear and just attack teams.
And so, do you think United would have gone to Anfield and played like what City did on Sunday? No way. Do you think they would have done that?
No, but they play a different type of game. Look, if we go to Liverpool and play, we're attacking Liverpool because they're coming on to us. You know, and it's the same with City. You know, they're coming on to us. So we're happy to play like that. But then for some reason, when we play against a team that wants to sit back, we want to play with 2 defenders, you know, 2 defensive midfielders. And it's just, it's just so irritating. But that's for another podcast.
I fully agree with you. Like Ben said, I think Liverpool are in a very good position. I do think the biggest challenges for the league will be Chelsea, Liverpool, and City. Them 3 will be challenging for the title. If United are in there, that would be fantastic. But for some reason, from what I've seen up to week 7, including the 2 games in Champions League, making it 9 games we played this season, I'm not convinced that we could get into that mix now. Only if something changes. But can he actually implement the change? Only time will tell. From what we're seeing, he still hasn't been able to implement it because he's got all the tools and he's still not. And the senior management came out yesterday and said, you know, it's a long-term process. We're not baking a cake here. We're trying to win a title. I'm being serious. Listen, when you're baking a cake, you keep saying, all right, it's still baking. Was this steady again? We've increased the temperature. It's still baking. We've heard that baking. We're still baking. How many years are we going to keep baking a cake?
In saying that, I'm happy with the process.
Come out the oven complete.
I want consistency. I don't have a problem with coming 2nd or 3rd, providing this consistency. And I don't have a problem with a long-term view of Ollie. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to see consistency. I want to see, you're never going to agree with subs or anything like that, but I don't want to see our best players sitting on the bench. I don't see it at Liverpool. I don't see it at Chelsea, and I definitely don't see it at City.
Exactly my point.
But I want to see what Ben's got to say. He's got definitely.
See, here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people have beef with Ole. The way forward here, like Tim was saying, United, you see, like it'll come down to a moment where something changes. I don't
Moment
think
FC.
I don't think that it will be. It doesn't have to be firing the manager. You look at
No.
your squad. You have a combination. You have a good mix of exciting young players who are just finding their confidence. You got people like Marshall. You got people like Rashford. Then you have these guys, superstars with a lot of title experience. People like Cristiano Ronaldo. You've got Paul Pogba, Edinson Cavani. The thing is, in other sports I've seen, it doesn't take the best manager to win. Sometimes it takes the players, they go into a locker room and they realize that we have to mix properly. We are also being paid to win, and we also have knowledge as players. In the end, the manager can only he can only encourage you so much. In the end, you have to do the playing. These guys have the capability of figuring things out in a long season. So it does not have to be firing of the manager. It can be these guys all figure out how to play with each other. And it's not like Ole is some kind of dictator. I'm sure if Ronaldo or Pogba or any of the other veterans say, I feel that they feel this, if they give input, he will take that into consideration. I think there is a vision here, but it's very the player powered. It's got to be the power of the players and them figuring out and taking responsibility that we are going to win games. We don't care who's on the pitch right now.
But it comes to the style of play as well. It comes to the setup on the pitch.
And
It
that's
comes to
where
the style of play. And when you're playing with two defensive midfielders
At home.
and at home, or look, I get it if you're playing against City or you guys, all the top sides away from home. But at home, we get the results away from home. So it's at home we've got the issues. There's something needs to change there, and it's definitely the style of play or the setup, as you say. It's the setup needs to change. We're not going to win anything with friggin' McTominay and Fred. They're negative players. And when I see a six get the ball, I want him to face forward and move forward. If I see my 2 or 5 get the ball, I want to see them face forward, their first touch forward. I don't want to see Harry Maguire. He plays on the left in our as our 3. I don't want to see him take it on his wrong foot. I want to see him take it on his back foot and pass out to Shaw instead of turning back in the box.
Yeah, so that's what players should come to that understanding. They have power also there. They should not keep their mouth shut in the drawing board meetings and everything. They have to also, there is some responsibility in this case at least. Ole he was coaching in Moldy and Cardiff City and everything. But you have seen all the big things like Juventus and Real Madrid and even winning at United. Open your mouth and come up with a plan together with your manager. And there's enough expertise on that team. There are enough generals on the pitch in that team in United to call the shots even on the game. In basketball, you see it all the time. Like the team is so talented, all the coach does is make sure that he doesn't break anything.
True. Right. As it stands now, Ben, your Liverpool are second, fourth behind Chelsea. By Christmas, where do you see yourself? That's the final question.
Still second. We do well until Christmas, and that's when things start. After Christmas is when last season the rash of injuries started, and
I don't like the cold weather.
Huh? Brittle, the bones become brittle. But
that's been a thing for a long time, hasn't it? Really?
Oh yeah,
it's been a thing for a long time.
The way we operate, it's the negatives that comes with keeping a compact squad instead of an expansive one. So We have to deal with that. And if we are at second, if we are in our current place come Christmas time, then I feel it's a good situation.
Sonny, Man City third, 2 points from the top. Christmas by December 31st, where do you think City will be?
I think we're going to be back in first place. Yeah, I don't really have a doubt about that because I disagree with, a little bit with Ben in the fact that I believe that leadership is everything and management is everything. Sometimes the players can't do their job. How many times workers can't do their job because they're bosses, you know? And so I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think we have such a superior management. Liverpool does too. And that's why I do agree with Adam in saying that, you know, we got to keep our eye on Liverpool. And then also I think about the soccer intelligence. I just see it with Liverpool. That's why I started to backtrack a little bit. I see the soccer intelligence in the coaching and in the leadership, and I see it in City. I think with Chelsea, they're just big bullies. They're just big dogs. But I think like the little dog, I think that we can just run around and we can do, you know, it won't last for long. So I see us back, and especially if we get a nine, a real nine, I think that we're going to do well. That's all we need. So I think the spirit is there. We don't have any fear, meaning that we're not. Oh, I'm afraid to scare. Let me play safe. No, we're just
Oh yeah,
passionate
that's
and
us.
we're spirited, and so I'm really enjoying City. I'm glad to be a fan of City.
Right, Adam. Actually, let me go to Adam. You close out. Uh, Mike, where do you see Arsenal from 11th to end of the year, end of December?
I see we have. I want to say we're already mid table. I think that's where we may stay between anywhere between maybe between 8 and 11, between
8th
those
and 11th.
fluctuating between those spots. And hopefully when it comes down to do it afterwards, then we can start putting on the heat and trying to climb the table more.
Because you do have an advantage over these other three teams because you're not in Europe, so you could only just focus on the league and the occasional FA and actually just the Champions League. So you have
Oh no,
more.
we don't have to
You have
worry
an
about Europa.
yeah.
Europa.
So you have a more advantage because they have midweek games. You literally don't have any midweek games. So Arsenal should be having more advantage, more rested players, and more rested time, recovery time than other teams, especially the top four. The top four, the teams all in Europe, including Spurs.
And that's why I said it's like by Christmas time, we're gonna say before Boxing Day, I think that um we should be from 10 to 8 and try to maybe come into like gonna say the top 10. Well, that's my goal. Or we're gonna say the vision. But hopefully we can just stay mid table or in between those two numbers.
Right. Adam, close out. We are United are fourth currently. December 31st. Do you see United breaking into that top three with Liverpool, Chelsea, City somewhere? Or what's your expectation so far from what you've seen projecting into December 31st?
Well, look, I'm going to try and end this on a positive. I think it's been a pretty positive podcast. It's been great. I love chatting with other fans because you get their aspect of your club and get the aspect of their club as well. So it's great. Hopefully we do a few more of these. What I want to say is the next 5 weeks is big for Manchester United. So if we can get a result against Liverpool and City, I can see us obviously jumping up into that top 3 position, that's for sure. And we generally do well against those clubs. Liverpool, it's going to be a massive game. That I cannot wait. We're just coming out of lockdown here, so where everyone's itching to get back to the bar and Scruffy Murphy's in Sydney.
Oh.
So it's right on the harbour. So it's everyone's itching to get back there. It's our home place for our supporters club, and in a way, I've been glad we haven't been getting back to the club because we've had so many near misses on results. So I really think in the next few weeks, I'm going to stay positive. I think we can jump in and get a result, whether it's a draw or a win. I think we're going to continue to get, but I think by December, I think we're probably going to be just sneaking into maybe third, but sneaking into third. And if we're sneaking into third, you've got to see a team drop out of there. So I think Chelsea, just before international break, had a couple of sketchy results. I'm hoping they can continue them, so they may drop back into fourth spot. So there's a prediction for you.
Well, you've heard it from Liverpool, City, Arsenal, and United. You've heard the views. They've told you where they are currently, up to 7 games played so far in Premier League. We didn't talk about the European travels. We just talked about Premier League, and we talked about the positions in the league so far. Now we are about to end the show. Everyone has told what the next predicted games, who they're going to play, what they're predicting. It's going to be a very long season. A lot of teams have implemented so much new structures, new managers, new players. It's going to be, as we know in England, the Premier League is one of the toughest leagues out there. It might not be the most skillful, but it definitely is the toughest, because any day, on any given day, any team could beat any team. So on that note, we want to thank Ben for joining us. Ben, thank you for putting Liverpool out here today. Thank you very much, Ben, for joining us. Sonny, the lady in the house, thank you for joining us, talking about Man City and your projections. We appreciate you, Sonny. Mike, thank you for representing Arsenal. We appreciate you. Thank you. Adam, we are the furthest out in another continent from all of us out here. We thank you for representing Man United from all of us. Don't forget, viewers, thank you for joining us today. Like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate it. But we shall see you guys again in our next international break, which is there's one more international break before the end of the year. Hopefully we try and get Chelsea. I know we'll definitely get a Spurs fan, my friend, who'll be on the next one. And we'll try and find I'll look for a Chelsea guy to join us. Hopefully the position of the tables will change. We just never know in the Premier League. From us, it's goodbye and good night. Ben, Adam, Sonny, and Mike.
See you guys.
Thank you very much.
Peace out.
Thank you very much, guys.
Stay safe.
Take care and
Stay
God
safe.
bless and stay safe.
Peace.